1 million cups, Daytona Beach. How's everyone doing this morning? All right, seems like some great energy here this morning. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. My name is Chris Steff, and I'm one of the volunteer organizers, and I'm joined by a bunch of other organizers that are here. Please raise your hands. Round of applause for the organizers. Sean and Tyler aren't they attending the Kansas City 1 million cups right now?
Representing Daytona Beach.
Representing Daytona Beach out there. Yeah, round of applause for those guys. So any first timers here today? How far did you guys come?
From the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands. All right. Well, again, welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know, we are a product of the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City, Missouri, and right now in over 180 communities across the country are 1 million cups meetings taking place. So we are part of something much bigger than just here in Daytona Beach. However, we like to think that we have one of the best, at least the best in Florida, crowds of people that attend. We always have great attendance, great energy. So thank you so much again for joining us. And what we do is we have a guest speaker every Wednesday come in, and it's either a new startup or an established business here to share their story about how they've succeeded, lessons learned, things like that, advice they might have for the group, and also seeking advice from the group. But today we have a special treat. We have somebody who knows a little bit about entrepreneurship. Michael Zaharios, he is the program director for the Florida Virtual Entrepreneur Center. My boss, a friend of mine, an all-around great guy. He's involved in a million things in the community: Kickstart Weekend, Innovate Daytona, Leadership Council, FLVEC. Just the list goes on and on and on. So, without further ado, let's give it up for Michael Zaharios.
And I wouldn't be able to do what I do without a great, great friend and employee. So help me give it up for Chris Steff. I really do mean that. You guys have heard that time and time again how important teams are in companies. So before we get started, most of you know that I am extremely high energy. So I want to get everybody pumped up real quick by just saying good morning. So good morning, 1 million cups, Daytona Beach. Come on. Good morning. I think that energy is so important for what we do in our businesses. And I've got a lot to cover today. So get your notepads out or get your phones going and take notes. But we got a lot to go through. I got the great opportunity, believe it or not, 12 years ago to get involved in this project called the Florida Virtual Entrepreneur Center. It got started right here in Volusia County, and the whole idea was that 12 years ago, there was no single place online you could go to find resources to help your business, okay? So imagine a yellow pages for business resources. Didn't exist. We created it right here in Volusia County and have now expanded it across the entire state of Florida. And you might be wondering, well, how did you do that? How did you fund that effort? Florida High Tech Corridor Council. We would not be here today without the support from this organization that you see behind me. And the High Tech Corridor itself is an organization, a partnership, if you will, of 3 great universities in Florida: UCF, USF, and UF. Those institutions pool their time and resources to fund the Florida High Tech Corridor Council, and the High Tech Corridor Council supports programs like the Florida Virtual Entrepreneur Center. So without them, we would not be here today. This is the region that the High Tech Corridor represents. You might often hear this in news articles that talk about business growth in the area, but the High Tech Corridor supports these 23 counties along the I-4 corridor. We're very fortunate that with our program, we do serve the 23 counties, but also the remainder of the state of Florida because of the uniqueness in what we do. Now, you hear a lot about Silicon Valley, right? You hear a lot about the Research Triangle, these hotbeds for innovation and entrepreneurship. I want you to recognize and feel proud that we are in an area that is recognized around the world, okay, as an area for high-tech innovation and entrepreneurship. And it's because of the Florida High Tech Corridor. That's our Silicon Valley right here. Something, again, all of us should feel very, very proud of and let other people know. Because just as Silicon Valley has been successful in branding its area, if we refer to our area as the Florida High Tech Corridor, or what we're now known as is just the corridor that will help us attract more amazing individuals and companies to keep the state of Florida a great state to be in to do business. Now, I mentioned the high-tech corridor is a major supporter of our program, but we also have more than 24 organizations and private companies that support our program, okay? And I do want to give credit here in Volusia County. These are the entities. You can see cities, the Team Volusia, Career Source, and then a couple of private sector companies that support our program, sponsor our program. So that's our business model, that's our revenue model for how we keep this program available and free to entrepreneurs. And again, I'm going to show you more about what we do in a few minutes. But before I do that, I think it's very important to ground you on who I am and kind of where my background comes from. You know, why I am up here talking about entrepreneurship and how did I get in this 12 years ago. It all starts right here. You know, you gotta have motivation in your life. And this is my motivation every single day. It was my motivation this morning before I drove here. My daughter in the middle, my wife Robin on the right there. Super proud. And I know that the seeds I plant today here in Volusia County and in the state of Florida are going to produce real fruit down the road in 20 years or 30 years when my daughter sets her course in her life. And I think that's important for all of us to think about how we can do things today that will make a great impact later on. If you were to walk right behind Cinematic Theater, bless you, Fred, this is my family's automotive repair business. This is British American Auto Repair. My dad and my brothers down there, my dad's been down there for 40 years, okay? And this is where I got my start. From as young as I can remember, my dad would take me down to the shop, and my grandfather was there at the time before he moved upstairs. But anyways, I would run in there, and I wouldn't want to work on the cars. I'd go in the office and say, teach me how to make money. Teach me how to run the business. What does it take to sell somebody something? What does it take to manage employees? And that's where I got my start. And every chance I had, this is where you would find me, learning about business and operations and things that were necessary to be successful. I traded that for this. This is where I spend most of my time now, seriously, on the road, driving around to communities in Florida, doing these types of presentations right now, encouraging more innovation and entrepreneurship. You gotta remember, we're a statewide program. We have partners all over the state of Florida, more than 30 of them. I gotta get to those communities and help prop up what they're doing for entrepreneurship and show them the importance of these types of meetings, our tool, and other things that are going on. This is where our office is at. This is out at the Daytona Beach International Airport, the Volusia County Business Incubator. When Chris and I are land-based here in Volusia County, this is where headquarters is at for us. Most of the time we're remote, but we do have an office there. All right, so this is the homepage for the Florida Virtual Entrepreneur Center. I am going to take you through a live demo, but it's a website. That's what we do. We are the only one in the state of Florida that provide a website specifically for entrepreneurs with 3 competencies: resources, events, and profiles of other entrepreneurs. Okay, before I get to the website, I've also got to share with you something that I'm extremely passionate about. And I share this and take this presentation with me everywhere because I think it's so important. The few minutes that I have at the microphone that I talk about this. And it is this belief that we're all entrepreneurs. Many of us in this room probably feel this way already, but if you don't, my hope is that in a few minutes I will convince you of this. Some of us are going to live this life of the entrepreneur, and that is, if you will, in my mind and belief, the person who is willing to work hard to create a product or service that they can then release to the market and then possibly employ people, right? Some people look at this quote and think it's about working a few years and then get to enjoy the rest of your life because you have a big exit. My read of this is the CEO, the president of the company, that had the idea and worked hard to build it to something bigger and better that can serve. Others are going to fall into this, and this is a key thing, and you're seeing this now more than ever in companies. It's not just the entrepreneur, it's the intrapreneur. Some of you in this room work for companies, and that's not a bad thing. Take what you're learning, take that entrepreneur inside of you, and bring that to your company, and I guarantee you, you will stand out far and above anybody else that's in your company. And quite honestly, companies want their employees to be entrepreneurial. Why? Because companies need to stay relevant in their industry, and they recognize that if it's coming from within and innovations happening from their employees, they can be relevant long into the future. So where do I draw knowledge and inspiration from? I'm spending a lot of time on the road. I do listen to audiobooks and podcasts. This is the book that hit me the most. This is why we're doing what we're doing in Volusia County and in the state of Florida. The Rainforest, The Secret to Building the Next Silicon Valley. And there's a couple of key things I'm gonna point out to you that this book tells you about. It's culture. Silicon Valley is successful because they have a culture where when you go out there, there's a community willing to wrap their arms around you and help you with your idea. That failure is not a bad thing. And the more we can have that culture right here in Volusia and in the state of Florida, we will attract more people to come here with their ideas to launch their companies. And those people that are already here will feel comfortable putting themselves out there because they know a community is willing to wrap their arms around them and help them. So culture is a big piece of why Silicon Valley is so successful. The other piece is transactional efficiency. What this means is, when you go out and you meet someone in Silicon Valley, it only takes 1 or 2 meetings to get done what you need to get done. I can tell you here, sometimes it's taking me 8, 9, or 10 meetings to get done what I need to get done. So if we can increase our ability to support each other, to help each other, and minimize the time it takes to make things happen, we can be quicker, we can be better, we can be faster. So I've got some examples for you, and I'm asking you to hop in my time machine with me right now, okay? And we're gonna go back to, are you ready for this? This is a long time, I know. It's 2013. And it feels like forever ago, I know. And I'm gonna take you with me to the Super Bowl. It was the Ravens and the 49ers, and if you've seen this presentation before, please don't call it the answer. But something happened this Super Bowl that never happened in the history of Super Bowl before. Does anybody know what happened this Super Bowl?
Was that the wardrobe malfunction?
No?
No?
Power outage.
Yep, there was. The power went out. Went out for, I think, 40, 45 minutes, right? So what happens then? Nobody at home's watching the game. Nobody at the game's watching the game. Everybody's checking Facebook or their social media, right? And at this time, 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl was, anybody want to guess how much it cost? $5 million. $5 million this Super Bowl for 30 seconds. So when the power goes out, a company has an employee that thought like an entrepreneur. And an ad came out on social media that was the most talked about ad that entire Super Bowl. Here it is. You can still dunk in the dark. It was Oreo. Oh, did I miss that? Was it there?
I saw it.
Hang on just a second. For some reason it's on my computer, but it's not up on the...
There it is. Okay.
All right, so that was the ad. Sorry about that. You can still dunk in the dark. Oreo didn't pay $5 million to get this ad into the Super Bowl that was the most talked about ad. They had an employee who thought like an entrepreneur and acted like an entrepreneur and saw opportunity. And what else? Speed to market. It's critical for entrepreneurs. We know that, because just as quickly as we're trying to do something, somebody's running right behind us, ready to go past us. They didn't wait to ask for permission. Okay, that's in entrepreneurship. You're putting yourself out there and you're doing what you got to do because you know it's necessary. You're taking names and you're making it happen. So Zappos. Anybody ever used Zappos? Heard of Zappos? Pretty innovative company. What I love about them is their customer service. So a customer has to call into customer service 6 o'clock at night, and they had an issue with their order. Customer service agent on the other end of the line recognizes that they've now been on the phone for about 30 minutes and says, what are most people doing in the evening? 6:30, eating dinner. So the customer service agent, without even telling the disgruntled customer on the other end of the phone, sends a pizza to that customer's house. Think about that for a second for your company. Have you ever had a customer service experience like that? Does your company deliver a customer service experience like that? Because I know if I have a bad experience, I'm likely to tell somebody about it. But if I have a great experience, man, I'm gonna tell everybody about it. And that's exactly how I found out about this article and information. It was all over the internet at the time for what Zappos was encouraging their employees to do, to think like entrepreneurs and to act like entrepreneurs inside the company. So that individual was being resourceful, loving the challenge. Tom's Shoes, buy a pair of shoes, they give a pair of shoes away to someone who is less fortunate. Great model, really love what they do, but they're driven by purpose. And a lot of consumers today are pitched to that and want to know companies that they're spending money with are doing more than just taking their money, quite honestly. So I've also got some negative examples for you. Companies that have failed to innovate is what I'm talking about here. And I spent my entire weekend doing this. Chris, you can probably attest to this. I pulled my encyclopedias out, and I read them all weekend, right? And I know many of you did that too, but what I'm saying here is that Britannica was the company I'm referring to. They were stuck in, it's always going to be a door-to-door sales model, and I'm going to bring the books behind me, and they kind of got run over when Microsoft came out with Windows and CDs, and didn't think that that was going to happen for their industry. So if they had thought more like entrepreneurs and embraced their employees and had that innovation motivation, they might still be around. When was the last time when you bought one of these, right? And Kodak is still out there, but certainly not as well known as they used to be. They didn't think that the smartphone was going to have cameras, and they kind of let that slide by them. Here's my favorite, Blockbuster. Believe it or not, there's actually still one Blockbuster out there. It's in Alaska. And, I'm serious, there is. No joke, you can look it up. And but Netflix, right? DVDs by mail took them over, and Blockbuster tried. They tried to get out there with their own service, but too little, too late. So these groups, these companies didn't welcome change, and you should. They were not comfortable in discomfort, right? Sometimes we get, okay, things are running good, leave it alone, right? But that's the time where we can often allow others to come in and take market away from us. And they were not being fearless, quite honestly, in their industry. All right, so quickly, the sort of what the old business plan looks like. Right here on screen, many of you guys know this, and I don't want to knock down business plans. I think they're very valuable if you use them, or if you're going to apply for funding from a traditional bank. But the new business plan that's really being used is right here, Business Model Canvas. You can Google this. There's free resources of this. You can print it off, and you should print it off in a big poster and put it up on your wall in your conference room or wherever you can, your home office, and grab yourself some sticky notes, because this document is meant to be a living, breathing document. Businesses change, and they change quick. And if you write a full-length business plan, how much is going to change in a year? A lot. The intent here is you get this up on the wall and you're able to move things around as needed and as things change for your market. The other big thing is minimum viable product, MVP. We're not talking about LeBron James here. This is business. It's a minimum viable product. This is what companies are doing today when they want to get started with their ideas. And imagine for a second that you've got $20,000 in your pocket, and you've got this idea for 10 different features in a product, and you spend all $20,000, and then the market says to you, we only want 2 of those 10 features. Now you're out to $20,000, you build 8 other features the market doesn't even care about. So the whole purpose behind the MVP, minimum viable product, is to do this right here. You have an idea. Let me move this back a little bit. Yeah, sorry about that. Jump out there. Hey, this is we're all in this together. So you have your idea, you build it, you create the 1.0, you put it out there, you get some data and feedback, and then you learn from that to create your 2.0. And I want to show you some examples of exactly how this was done, and you'll recognize these companies once we reveal them to you. But there was a new airline that started with just one route, and the gentleman who started this started it because the airline he was using previously stopped the route to his destination while he was en route to the destination. So he, himself, and an entire plane of people were unfortunately not able to get to their destination. So he said, I'm going to go out and start one route airline, build up the capacity for just that one route, and then start branching out to other areas across the country. Anybody know who started their business this way? No? Virgin. Richard Branson. His first airline was down to the British Virgin Islands. And that was how he started the company, became known in the industry for getting people to where they wanted to go, clearly. But if you've ever flown on Virgin, I've never flown on a better airline myself. It's a great experience. Unfortunately, they did get bought out, but that's how they started this company. So, Custom Donuts Plain First. This is a local one. This hits home because we actually have the owner of this company in the room. But when I got to know Donald Summerlin, Donald told me that he started his, and I'll reveal it to you, it's Donnie's Donuts. He started Donnie's Donuts by making sure that the base of the donut, the cake of the donut, was awesome. Okay? He could have gone out and did the base and did all the toppings and invested all the money in having those toppings and putting it out in the market, but he started with just the base and got that perfect first, and then went in and added in everything else. And that was his MVP, maybe not even realizing it at the time. But I take you with me, Donald, even when I'm not eating your donuts, all over the state of Florida. Another company, we probably all have used this service. This was a video, or rather a file sharing service, and they created a demo video. So they didn't even code the technology. They created a video of how the technology would work, and that's what they used to raise money for their company. and that company was Dropbox. Pretty amazing to think about. So imagine again how much resources would have been necessary to create that technology, and what if they didn't get the funding? Now they're out all that money. So in your businesses and in the things that you're doing, think about how you can use a minimum viable product to put something out there, get some feedback, and then use that to make it better, but not use all your resources along the way. Or right from the get-go, I should say. All right, so now I'm going to get into what's going on here in Volusia County. So let me ask you this. How many resources are here in our area to support new and growing businesses? Anybody got an idea?
Yeah, 6.
More than that?
23.
Oh, close. More than 25. And I want to show them to you so that you know exactly what's going on. I think it's so important. And I would say to you that even if you can't use these resources, obviously not everybody is in Volusia County is here today. So we all know somebody that can take advantage of these. And of course, I'm going to start with Million Cups because you guys know this one, you're here. But we are going to be 4 years old next Wednesday. It's our 4-year anniversary. And it's huge because what a great community of people that have come together to lift up other people. And at the core of what we're doing, that's what's going to make Volusia County and the state of Florida even better, when we're all willing to help each other and lift each other up. Just that next step, we'll be able to achieve anything we want to achieve. So tell people to come here and be here. Open door policy, completely free. You guys know what it's about. So I know I was pounding the message boards the past couple of weeks about Kickstart Weekend, and we had a great event this past weekend with 30 participants, 5 teams, amazing ideas, and we helped individuals immerse themselves in entrepreneurship, and we taught them in a little bit more detail some of the things I've showed you about the business model canvas and minimum viable product, but then we released them to go out and work on their own project for about 12 hours. And what they came back with in 12 hours in front of a panel of judges would blow you away. Quite honestly, it blew me away. I was so proud. There are some people in the room today who went through the weekend with us just this past weekend, but what a great way to really surround yourself around entrepreneurship and test your abilities. Put your foot in the water, if you will, and see if this is really for you before you go out and do something that you might feel like isn't. So Kickstart Weekend, once a year, usually in the falls when we do this, and this was our 4th event this past weekend. So Startup Grind, this is our newest event for entrepreneurs in Volusia County. This is up in Ormond Beach. Once a quarter, approximately, is when the events are done. And the whole idea here is we wanted to have something in the evening for entrepreneurs. Something that was social but still had an educational component. So Startup Grind is like Million Cups in that it happens all across the country. There's a lot of chapters, there's a lot of entrepreneurs who are a part of these groups, but this is another free opportunity for you to come out and engage and learn. And what we do here is that we bring in, the speaker is a very successful founder of the company, someone that's really achieved great success, and we have a conversation. It's not a formal presentation, it's just a sit-down conversation with that individual. So Elevate, we've got some speakers in the room. Some of you guys have attended this event before. This is done through the Leadership Daytona Alumni Council, which is a part of the Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce. Okay, I know that's a mouthful, but Elevate Daytona Beach, what an amazing event that grew from 200 people to now almost 500. We've done more than 5 events. The whole idea is to give individuals in the community a platform where they can get up and share what they're passionate about. 5 minutes, 20 slides, auto-advancing every 15 seconds, so a very rigid format, but an important format because it helps you become better at delivering your message, right? Getting to your point and the core of what you want to do. Elevate will really test your skills, and you can go on YouTube, Elevate Daytona Beach, look it up. Each video is only 5 minutes long, and there's over 50 videos on there. And what I always like to say is that there isn't one speaker that's amazing, it's the entire group of speakers. And when you get to see people speak, you might recognize them from the community or a board that you serve on and not know that they're so passionate about something, and you get to see them in this light. So it's extremely rewarding, and I'm always very proud of what these individuals accomplish over a course of a couple of months leading up to the big show. So SCORE, Volusia Flagler, I didn't see John Anderson, he's normally here. But imagine for a second that individuals that have served in executive level positions at companies have retired and want to give their time to mentor businesses. That's exactly what SCORE does. free. Free resource, free mentorship. So the Innovation Challenge, if you are attending a local college or you have a child or a grandson, et cetera, that's in a local college, college students each year get to battle each other around entrepreneurship and compete for a $10,000 first place prize. I believe second place is $5,000, and they also get a 1-year entry into the Volusia County Business Incubator so that they have some hands-on assistance to help them continue their project after the competition's done. And this is meant to help students realize that they can stay here and be successful in Volusia County. So the Florida Small Business Development Center at Daytona State College, another free resource, consultants that you can go in and meet with, talk about subjects that relate to your business, and they will be able to help you directly or point you in a direction where you can get assistance. You heard me mention the Volusia County Business Incubator. This is, if you're a Volusia County resident, your tax dollars at work, because this is funded by local taxpayers, but imagine a nationally recognized program from UCF, their business incubation program, here in Volusia County, where local companies that want to scale their company can get assistance in doing that. This is the Volusia County Business Incubator. If you haven't been out there to tour it, you should, because you can learn about companies that are operating and trying to get started right here in Volusia County. Of course, Embry-Riddle, if you've driven down Clyde Morris recently, you probably have seen this facility. They also have an incubation program. Theirs being focused more on the aviation and aerospace industries because of what the university is known for in those industries. So they've got some amazing companies there as well. One of my favorite spaces to visit down in New Smyrna is the Hub on Canal. What I like to talk about here is that it can often be very expensive for one person artist to have their own gallery. The Hub brought together a lot of creative artists and allows each of them to rent out a little bit of space in the facility, thereby lowering the cost for all the folks that are in there. So you get to see a lot of different artists in one space. Entrepreneur Night is started up in Flagler County, but does rotate to Volusia from time to time. A free evening event, very social. A couple hundred entrepreneurs turn out to this, and again, as a way for you to network with like-minded individuals. I'm always so proud of this slide because traveling all around Florida, I can tell you that there are communities that are desperately desiring to have even a satellite campus of a higher education institution. And here in Volusia County, we have five higher education recognized institutions, and we need to feel proud of that, and we need to continue to tell people that these entities are here and they can get great educations from them if they want to. So our Volusia County government has its own Department of Economic Development, and if you are a company that's already located here in Volusia County, the county wants to keep you here. Okay, think about it in your own business. If you have a customer, isn't it far easier to retain that customer than it is to attract a new one? It is. It's the same thing with local companies that are located here. So the county will work with your company to help you expand, or if you're considering leaving the area, you should talk to them about why and see what they might be able to do to help you stay here. The Halifax Business Women and Professionals Group is a group that meets. If you're a female professional and you want to get together with other female professionals, this is an opportunity for you. The VMA, if Jane Pfeiffer was here right now, she'd be doing her little cheerleading rah-rah that she does. I will not do that for you because she does it much better than I do. But Volusia County has over 400 manufacturers. A lot of folks don't know that. There's all kinds of products being made here. The VMA just did a big showcase out at Father Lopez. Manufacturing's very high-tech these days, very computer-driven. There are great careers, a lot of openings and high-paying jobs in manufacturing and right here in Volusia County. So Team Volusia, I talked about how we want to keep companies here, but what about bringing companies here that are not here yet? This is what Team Volusia Economic Development does, and it is I compliment them for the job they have to do because they have to go outside Volusia County and convince companies to bring their operations here. Sounds easy when you say it out loud, very hard when you're doing that job day in and day out, but they are working hard to bring companies to Volusia County. A great example I can point to is if you're heading down I-95, what would be going north, you would look to the east, right next to, or right across from the Auto Mall, and what would be south of the Tanger Outlets. There's a huge distribution facility right there. It's called World Class Distribution, several hundred employees in there. Team Volusia, along with other partners, was part of helping bring that project to the community. We have 16 cities and 2 towns in Volusia County. They all have a Department of Economic Development or a representative who is the Economic Development Liaison. If you're considering anything and you're inside a city related to your business, you should go talk to your local city. And the reason that I say that is they often have incentive programs or know space that might be available that you don't know that you might be able to take advantage of. So important to engage with your local municipality. So Career Source Flagler Volusia, another one that I'm extremely proud of for many reasons, many reasons. And I can't say this enough, but one of the reasons why 1 Million Cups is here every Wednesday is because of Career Source Flagler Volusia. They sponsor us to be in this spot every Wednesday, and Robin and Charlie and many others from Career Source have continued that support. So real quick, help me give it up for Career Source. And that's just the investment in what they see as the power of this community. But beyond that, if you are someone who is looking for a job, you should need to go see Career Source. If you are a company that needs to hire people, you should go see Career Source. And they will help you find qualified applicants. They will also help you post your job openings, okay? And they will work with you to go through that process. A great resource. They offer a lot of free resources. And Charlie here in the front works for them, so make sure to see him before you go today. Another slide I'm very proud of, the CEO of Business Alliance. First and foremost, these companies employ hundreds of people in Volusia County, hundreds of people. At the same time, they bring their financial resources to the table, their connections across the country to the table, and they work to bring more opportunities to Volusia County. A completely private group that works in conjunction with other partners, but have done a great job in helping more and more individuals, more companies I should say, be a part of Volusia County's success story. Chambers of Commerce, we have 8 in Volusia County. These are all of them. As you know, if you're a part of them, great networking opportunities, great advocacy, what they do to help position the communities for business success. Take advantage of them where you see fit. I mentioned the higher education institutions. I would of course be remiss if I did not mention the technical schools that we have here. Reality is, if you talk to a lot of companies, they are looking for people with technical skills. They're not all looking for employees with higher education. So in that instance, there are many great technical schools that you can take advantage of if you need to. Our young professionals groups, what I really like about these groups is that when younger folks are considering staying in community or leaving in community, if you can show them there is a community that they can stay in and be successful with, that's a great way to help them realize that they can stay here in Volusia County. And I feel passionately that Volusia YPG and of course the Ormond YPG do a very good job of that, showing our young people what's going on and how they can be part of the future of our success story. If you're into technology and you're over in DeLand, there is a technology meetup at the Abbey on the 4th Thursday of every month. I believe it's a free opportunity. And of course, you've heard Innovate Daytona mentioned. So about 4, maybe 5 years ago now, a group of us got together. It was 9 of us, and we said there has to be more opportunities for entrepreneurs to come together in Volusia County. And that's really what got us motivated and got us saying, how can we be champions for Million Cups and Kickstart Weekend and Startup Grind and all these different things that we know are necessary to make us successful, just like other areas across the country have been successful. So sort of behind the scenes, if you will, we have been using our nonprofit to raise funds, to put on events, but also to meet with local leaders and let them know exactly what can be done if we make the investment in these types of projects, what more can be done. We're bringing those efforts to the table and helping showcase it. All right, so real quick, I've got a few more minutes. I know I've covered a lot, and that was my intent. I wanted you to leave here like, wow, that blew me away. So I want to take you onto the Virtual Entrepreneur Center so you can see exactly how you can find this information. All right, so FLVEC.com is our homepage. Oh, thank you. Hang on just a second. Let me just set this. All right, so let me just drag these what a challenge technology's got me on today. All right, so FLVEC.com, homepage, where you can find everything I just told you, right? You're thinking, man, I took too many notes. What did I even take? We got it all for you right on the website. So you go to FLVEC.com, you say, all right, I want to find those resources Michael just talked about. Go to Browse Resources. What it's going to ask you to do is pick a county, any county in Florida, or pick a city, any city in Florida. We're in Volusia, so I'm going to scroll down. Go to Volusia. Okay, boom. Now I'm inside the Volusia County Virtual Entrepreneur Center. Of course, we give credit to our sponsors right on the top of the page. But when you go down from here, oop, jeez, you're going to start to see the resources. Chris, will you hold this right here? On one-handed navigation. Thank you. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. I told you, great employees. See that? So right here, resources in Volusia County. Thank you. We defaulted to all, where you can see everybody, or you can search by your stage of business, okay, where you are, or you can search by what you need help with. So if you need help with a business plan, the system will automatically filter all those resources I just showed you in the presentation, and there's even a few more in here because we promote regional and state resources too. So if you click on any of these, you know, the Embry-Riddle Center for Entrepreneurship, it's just like a directory functions, just like Yellow Pages or Yelp. Tells you the location, tells you some information, gives you access to their website, their email, their phone number, all that good stuff, so you can actually get in contact with them and take advantage of the resource. So that's the first thing we do. Let me try to go back here. If you scroll down a little bit further, Chris, I might need you again. Let's see. All right, I got it. So I talked about Volusia County entrepreneurs. Here it is, straight up. There is no better voice than the voice of those businesses that are here in Volusia County to tell the rest of the world that you too should be here in Volusia County. And that's why we created our entrepreneur profile directory, okay? And what we do here is, I'll pick on Alex, because Alex is in the room. We interviewed Alex over the phone, 30 minutes. Chris did the interview, got all his information, and created a short story. Sorry, art. But anyways, you get the idea. We created a short story because we know that it's not just about phone numbers and websites address and social media links. It's about getting to know a person. People do business with people that they know and trust. What's a great way for you to get to know somebody? Read a short story about them, and you can do that on FLVEC. And so can other people that are coming from outside the area. At the same time, you can still go to his website if you want to. You can actually message him directly through the system, and it will send him an email. We don't publish his contact information. We have a system built in for that. Once you read his story, you can also contact him in on his social media if you want to, and then we promote our partners that are helping us make this happen. Okay? So if you are a Volusia County company, you're headquartered here, and you're not up on the website, we will put you up for free. I'm going to say that again, for free. And it's paid for by the sponsors that you saw me reference early on in the presentation. Now what's nice about this is, even if you don't want to be up on the website, you can come to the website and you can search for someone by their industry. Maybe you're looking to get into an industry, or you're in an industry and just need a like-minded individual to talk to, boom, it's going to give you whatever you select. You can also search by the company name, the city, or the product or service that they offer. And Volusia County has more than 50 entrepreneurs on it right now.
See Andy Clark.
Yep, we got a lot of folks, many in this room. So you heard me mention events. If you go up at the top here, it says events. For years, people have told me, Michael, please create a master calendar of events. You know, there's just so many business events going on. Can you create one place? So easy when you say it out loud, so hard in implementation. So I talked about MVP, minimum viable product, early on. And I can attest that we would have spent a lot of money, thousands of dollars, if we had gone and captured every single source in Florida that has events. We didn't do that. What we decided to do was create a 1.0 by looking at event sources that were public and allowed us to use technology to pull the data. So the calendar that you see represented in front of you right now that has business events that are happening all over Florida, sorry, one-handed navigation is a little tough. But this calendar right here pulls in event information from 50 public sources across Florida. This is our 1.0. So you can go in here, click on the event, see the date and time. And the examples that I like to point out is if you're raising money for your company, we don't have a lot of pitch competitions here in Volusia County. But there is a great organization, the Florida Venture Forum, that hosts pitch competitions all over the state of Florida, and they give away hundreds of thousands of dollars. And sometimes Volusia County companies are there, but not as many as I'd like to see. So again, this is why it's important to know what's going on local, but it's important to know what's going on in your region, and it's even more important to know what's going on in the state. And I know there are folks in the room that would attest to the importance of putting yourself out there beyond your county or city lines in order to get to the goal that you have. So I showed you the events, I showed you the resources, I showed you the entrepreneurs. The last thing I'll show you is that, again, if you want to be on the site, all you have to do is go to sign up, hit entrepreneur, scroll down, and there's a form right below there. Fill that out. In 24 to 48 hours, you're going to get an email from Chris, very likely, and then within a week, we're going to have your profile up on the site. And if you're in Volusia County, it's completely free thanks to our sponsors. All right, so I have literally taken almost the entire time, but we've got about 10 minutes left, so I want to stop right here. I want to open it up for Q&A just as we've always done. Of course, I want to thank all of you for showing up today. I feel very honored that the room is full. And thank you again for the opportunity to stay. Any questions? Here, take it.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for sharing. Rochelle James, Business Advisor at Space Coast Credit Union. So my question with, this is an amazing site. I don't know why I didn't know about this before. But as I work with small business and startups, a lot of the questions is finding a mentor or somebody to help them along in their industry. So when people go onto the site and reach out to an entrepreneur, what does that relationship turn into?
Yeah, so we have many different scenarios, okay? So I would say 50% of the outreach that happens on the website is for peer mentorship. So entrepreneurs helping other entrepreneurs. Somebody's got a question about their business or something about the industry, peer engagement. That's about 50%. From there, the other 50%, 25% of it is sales and business development opportunities. And the remainder is partnership opportunities. Companies want to come together or bring two ideas together. So the vast majority of why people are connecting is what you just mentioned, is so that they can help each other be successful. And the nice thing is, and I didn't show this in the example, but if you were to click on this entrepreneur, I took you to the entrepreneurs for just Volusia County. But if you go to this page right here, this is our statewide entrepreneurs directory. So now all of a sudden, we have 653 across the state of Florida, and that's only representing 33 counties in Florida. So it's, again, if you want to put yourself out there and to start reaching out, we have it happening all the time. And it's a great way to do that. It's, again, very simple. You can click on Bill here, read his story. All you have to do is click this contact, and on 3 clicks in, put your message in and hit send. And Bill is going to get that message via email. And if he wants to respond to you, it's his opportunity and decision to respond. Notice that we're not providing any contact information and allowing people to solicit each other. It's an at-will. And everything that we built here is because entrepreneurs have given us this feedback. Yep.
Karen?
Good morning, Erin Patterson with Ascend 386. I've been living here for 3 years now, and I think one of the biggest things for professional millennials is finding the resources. So how do you guys market this, and how do you guys let maybe people who are newer to the area know about what's going on here?
So, great question. There's a lot of different things we do. If you look us up on Facebook, Florida Virtual Entrepreneur Center, that's our primary social media platform. It's really the only one we use, and we put all the profiles and information out on that page. We also do rely on our local partners to help us distribute that information, because Chris and I are 2 people running this program statewide, so we leverage our network of partners, and that's one of the asks that we have of them. So in addition to them helping us fund the program, that they will help be a local advocate, okay? So we utilize them. I also go out and do these presentations. I mean, many of you have seen this presentation or a version of this presentation many times before. So I go out as much as I can and talk about this and try to make it available to folks. Our promotional material is a business card, literally, because I got so tired of people throwing out our brochures and our magazines and everything else we have, honestly. I just said I can't see justifying that expense anymore when I know that everybody goes back to their desk and looks at the business cards of people they just met because they're going to decide if they want to outreach or not. So we created a promotional business card where it's got our sponsor's logo on it and a quick promo on the front of the card, and they use those to distribute. So, that's kind of what we're doing, but we're always open to ideas and trying to make it bigger and better.
You got time for a few more?
Hey, Dr. Vita, Vesca LLC.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, what is your ask of the community? Is there something that you want from Volusia County to help you with, or is there something that you want from the state of Florida to assist you with at FLVEC as you guys go forward?
Yeah, I mean, the only way Chris and I are able to do the work that we do is, one, because of the Florida High Tech Corridor Council. They are our major underwriter sponsor, if you will. We receive the most funding from them. Second to that, it's there are local partners. So we have 4 here in Volusia County. We're so thankful for those entities because, again, it's enabled us to provide it completely free to local businesses in Volusia County. We need more. We need more cities, counties, and economic development agencies to sponsor us. But we also need more private sector companies to put a little money into what we're doing. Of course, they get advertising and branding and things like that, but that helps put a little bit more wind in our sails and gives us some of the resources to do additional features and create a better tool for businesses. So I have presented to the state of Florida, Tallahassee. I've been out there. They love what we're doing. It's a tough pathway to go through the state to get the funding necessary. So what we've decided to do is go to cities and counties directly and present to them. And again, we have 30 city and county governments partnering with us right now. But we need more. We definitely need more. The ask of the general audience is that, tell people about what you just saw. That's the easiest thing every single one of us can do right now, because no matter, who knew about hands up if you knew everything I just showed you. And I know there are a few in the room who do because you've seen this presentation before, but it's only a handful. So, you have neighbors, you have colleagues, you have people you go to the gym with, whatever, church. Did you guys know about this? Tell them. That's, we get numbers keep going up for us. That helps us with our value proposition. And, so there's a lot of ways, but we're just trying to do the right thing. At the core of what we're doing is we're trying to say Florida's the best business destination, and let's show you all 67 counties and what they got to bring to the table. And that includes resources, that includes events, and that includes the most important piece, which is you guys, the businesses.
Yeah, Florida goes way beyond just tourism, right?
Look at the companies that we have here. It's unbelievable.
I'm Ron Weiss-Zakarski, Wise Home Team Realty. Michael, great job.
Thank you.
As a young entrepreneur, when I was first in the restaurant business, I spent most of my career head down, grinding like most entrepreneurs, when I probably should have lifted my chin up and looked at the resources around me. It's always that time crunch. We're so focused on the today, we're not really looking at that future month, year, 3 or 5 down the road. So I'm wondering, this is probably the challenge that you face every day, but 2 things. First, of all the messages you deliver today, if you can only pick one to deliver to everybody, which one would it be? Would it be your website, or what would it be?
I include everything in this presentation because it's extremely valuable. I don't know that I can pick out one thing. The website, yes, absolutely. If that's what grabs you the most today, then promote that. If you've got employees inside your companies, help them be more entrepreneurial so you can stay awesome and be awesome in the future. So I think this presentation is meant to grab people in different ways, but it's what I've seen. I've been at this now, again, growing up in business and entrepreneurship, but then working in what we call economic development for 12 years. And I have amassed this presentation from that experience of seeing and talking to companies and the struggles that communities are going through. So that's why anytime I get on the microphone, this is the presentation I'm bringing with me. So I don't know that I can give you one. I would say take the whole thing.
Okay. So with that in mind, I think I was here today, or it sparked at least one conversation in our mind about someone that we know should see this information. And yet, that's gonna be the head down guy that, or woman that I was years ago. What dialogue or script or something, what phrase,
Yeah.
can we be delivering, us in the room, to someone that probably needs us, and either is not aware of it, or won't simply make the time for an hour of their day to see this? What are we gonna reach out to help you grow this?
If you're talking to somebody that wants to be quicker, better, smarter in business, you need to tell them to go to FLVEC.com. If you got somebody who's already in business and they're kind of, coasting, so to speak, tell them the importance of not allowing complacency to live too long in their company, because that opens opportunity for other innovators to come through. So that's the piece I would talk more about, the intrapreneur to that individual. But I think FLVEC is the primary message, if you will, that I will take back. I'm happy to chat with folks offline. I mean, again, I know my purpose today was to give you a lot. This is what I've done everywhere across the board, is give people a lot, start conversations, and subgroups will take dialogue from there.
Last
I think we got here.
Hey, Michael, Alex with Ormond Beach Rentals and Be More Corny. Not really a question, more so much as just a testimony. Michael kind of took me under his wing at an early process in our entrepreneurial venture here in Volusia County. Same did Chris. So did a lot of the people of this organization. We had an opportunity to present at 1 Million Cups, followed up by an opportunity at Elevate. Really the key here is to just get involved and spread the word about this organization. If FLVEC became the next local Facebook, that would be a dream come true. I mean, this is what people, especially in this mindset, should be checking every morning before their notifications if their dog got likes or this and that. This really, and it kind of hones in on everyone's question, what can you do? Just talk about Michael, talk about 1 Million Cups, or talk about FLVEC, and that alone is going to get their mind thinking in the right path. I cannot say enough good words about the man up here. He has earned this presentation. I wish we could give this presentation every week before everyone else's presentation, because this is truly what has made Volusia County my home, and brought what seemed to be an economic downturn in this area into a positive light. And with every bounce back is a setback, or is a setup for the future. And I think this is a great time for this area. And with the crew, the people at the forefront, between you, Chris, and all the volunteers and all the people involved, this is a great time to be here in Volusia County, and things are moving forward. So just be involved and get the word about all of this out there to everybody.
Bravo!
Real quick, just before we kind of wrap up, because I know it's 10 and we like to grab the group photo. At the end of the day, it's you guys that drive me. I mentioned my daughter early on, but it's the community that drives me to do this work every single day. And I have a lot of frustrating days. Everybody does, but seeing this room full today and every Wednesday, and getting you guys involved in the different resources and programs, I'm very thankful for this community and this state. So I appreciate everybody showing up today, giving great questions and great feedback, and we'll keep doing the good work that we do, and you please keep doing the good work that you do, because it's important.
Good job.
I